In this tutorial, I will look at using the code from the Ray Test code snippet. I will use the code to add paintball splats to objects. In future tutorials, I will be developing paintball games. In Blender, change Blender Render to Blend for Web. Click Set Recommended Options and Project Manager. Click Hide Stock Projects and click Create New Project. I'm going to call the new project My Ray Test 3. Scroll down and click Create Project. When you see project created, click Back to Projects. This is a dummy Blender file. I'm going to make a Blender file suitable for ray testing and use it to overwrite the dummy file. Then I'm going to add the code that does the ray testing. Back in Blender, click the Physics Properties, click Object Physics and Collision Bounds. For the ray testing to work, you have to set the physics for the camera. Next, I need a paint splat graphic. I could go into a graphics package and make one of my own, but it's easier to use the one that comes with the code snippet example. File, Append, go to the Blend for Web folder, the Blender folder, code snippets, ray test, click on the Blender file to go into it, into the object folder, and the object that we want is decal, and click append. If I hide the cube and select the decal and open a new window and make it a UV image editor window and go into edit mode, the decal is a foreground graphic on a rectangular transparent background, UV mapped to a plane. Drag to close the window, go back into object mode and unhide the cube. The decal is the master from which we will make duplicates. If the cube moves, we'll see the master. To hide it, if we make the camera its parent, it will always be behind the camera. The image file is a separate file. To make sure it's exported with the rest of the scene, in the File menu, External Data, click Automatically Pack. The Blender file is now ready to save to the Project folder. File, Save As, go to the Blend for Web folder, the Projects folder, the My Ray Test 3 folder, Blender, click on the file and Save As to overwrite it. The 3D scene loaded into the web browser does not come directly from the Blender file, it comes from the JSON file. In the File menu, Export, Blend for Web JSON. Make sure you're in the Ray Test 3 Assets folder, click on the dummy JSON file and click Export to overwrite it. Now we have set up the Blender file and the JSON file, we have to edit the code. Click the Edit link, click on the JavaScript file, the .js file. Going back to the Ray Test code snippet, click View Code. Scroll down, I'm going to copy over the function init logic, highlight the function, right click copy, back into Project Manager, scroll down, click, right click, paste. The code uses a lot of extra modules. Going back to the snippet and scrolling up, I'm going to highlight the modules, right click, copy, back to Project Manager, scroll up, click, right click, paste. Some of the modules are duplicated, so I'm going to remove the duplicates, the app module, the config module, and the data module. The version module is duplicated, but the variable name used is different, so we need to be careful. The version module is only used once in the code in this line, so it's this version of the require statement that we need to delete. There's only one thing left to do, and that is where it says place your code here, we need to put a call to the init logic function, copy and paste. Click Save and back to projects. Click the link for the HTML page and hope that it works. If it doesn't, my tutorial on using the web console for basic debugging may help. I'm going to add a sound effect for when the object is hit. Click the edit link, the link for the JavaScript file. I'm going to add these 3 lines of code. We'll be using the play function from the sound effects module. So we need the require statement for the sound effects module. Copy, click, right click and paste. Scrolling down to the init logic function, I'm going to add the next line to the end of the variable declarations. Right click, copy, click, right click, paste. We will have to add a speaker object to the Blender scene and call it speaker bell. And finally, I'm going to place the play sound effect statement inside the ray test callback function. Click, right click and paste. Scroll down and click Save and back to projects. Going back to Blender, we need to add a speaker object and call it speaker bell. In the speaker properties, change speaker behavior to background sound. Click the open button. Go to the folder where you have your sound file. Click on the file and click open. I'm going to give a quick explanation of what ray testing is. Selecting the camera, the decal is at the location of the camera. The rectangle is the window that the camera looks through at the scene. The window is rendered to a 2D image, and that is what you see on your computer screen. When you click with the mouse on the computer screen, a line is made from the camera to the point you clicked on. The ray test involves extending the line until it intersects with or hits the surface of a 3D object. At the point where the line hits the object, a copy of the decal is appended to the scene. Any object will do. I'm going to replace the cube with my model of a Coke can. File, append. I'm going to the folder where I have my Coke can model. Click on the file to go into it, into the object folder, and the model is called cylinder, and append. Make sure the Coke can is selected. In the Physics properties, click Object Physics, Collision Bounds, and set the collision bounds shape to cylinder. I'm going to make the decal bigger. Press S to scale 4 and enter, and scroll down and click Apply Scale and Modifiers. We only have to update the JSON file. The Blender file will be automatically updated. Now when we load the scene in the web browser, we get the sound effect and the Coke can. That's the end of this tutorial. I'll put the files used in this tutorial for you to download at my website. To visit my website, click the eye icon in the top right hand corner. To subscribe, click the stickman. If you'd like to sponsor my tutorials, click the Patreon link. Thanks for watching and goodbye.